Right, welcome to the first video for markets in action. So we're trying to understand the market forces, and the first thing we're looking at is the law of demand, which is one of the two market forces. Right, so we'll first look at keywords. So what do we understand by price?
So it is like, it's the decider of how much you pay for something.
Yep, it is the money paid to acquire rights to consume an economic good. So money paid to acquire rights to consume an economic good or to possess it. So I've given you an example of price £19.95. If you pay that to the shopkeeper, you get to keep it. Let's say if it's a t-shirt, something. And two things when we're talking about demand in economics is we need to understand the difference between desired demand and economic demand. So desired demand,
So it's what people want but can't have.
cannot afford to pay for it. And I've put down the picture of a Ferrari. So I want to have a Ferrari, but can I afford one? Probably not at the moment. So desired demand is the desire or the longing, longing to have something. So it's the desire to have a good, but no ability to pay for it. So I have a desire to have a Ferrari. I want to have a Ferrari, but I cannot afford it. So I don't have the ability to pay for it. On the other hand, the economic demand. What do you think is economic demand?
So something that you want and can afford.
Absolutely. So economic demand is something you want to have and you can afford it. So I've put down a picture of Ford Focus, my current driving car probably. So is the desire and the ability to pay for an economic good is the economic demand. And this is what we normally consider when we talk about demand in economics is economic demand, not desired demand. So both you are willing to buy it and you have the ability to pay for it. Continuing on this, we then explore the law of demand. Law of demand. Do you understand what law of demand is?
Yeah.
Okay, give it a shot then.
So the law of demand is something which you which like is demanded by the people.
Yes, but what law of demand says is, law of demand states that the quantity demanded of a good will increase with a decrease in its price. Cetres Paribus. What that means is all other things are constant, are not changing, such as fashion, income. So what it means, which means is as the price is falling, so if you look at this individual demand curve, if the price falls, right? If the price falls, and okay, look at this is downward sloping. As the price is falling, the demand for that particular good will increase. So in this case, let's say the price was £8, and at that £8, the market demand or the individual demand for that good was 20 units. Okay. As the price drops from the £8 to £5, the demand will increase from 20 to 25.
Okay.
So key points to remember: demand curve is downward sloping, and as the price falls from 8 quid to 5 quid, the quantity demanded has increased from 20 to 25. Demand curve is downward sloping. Why? Because when the demand falls, the price falls, the quantity demanded of a commodity is going to increase. Another thing which we need to understand is market demand. Market demand is the addition of all the demand of economic demand in the market. And what we do is, let's say if this is the individual demand of an individual, which is 25 units at £5, and let's say there are lots of individuals. So I've got a question over here. There are 10 individuals in the market, each demanding 25 units of the commodity at the market price of 5. So what do you think would be the total market demand? There are 10 individuals in the market, each are demanding 25 units of a commodity, and there are 10. So what is the total demand?
So total demand rose by 5.
No, there are 10 individuals. So first individual is demanding 25. The second individual also demands 25. So what's the demand? 25 plus 25? 50. When we put the third individual in the market, he's also demanding 25. It becomes 75. And if we carry on the process up to the 10th individual, we'll find it's 250 units. Or another way of doing that is 25 times 10. So what we are saying is the market demand. So on the left hand side we have the individual demand curve. On the right hand side we have the market demand curve. Market demand curve is the horizontal addition of all individual demands, as we did 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 all the way up to 10 individuals, and we got the answer at 250. So market demand curve is the horizontal addition of all individual demand curves in the market. So we can write it down is the horizontal addition of all individual demand curves in the market. Let me make it proper. Okay, are we happy with this? This line is probably to show that all the individual demand curves have been headed. So what I could have done is, at that point I could have drawn 10 different diagrams, individual diagrams, each showing 25 units with 5. Okay? We'll now try and learn the Cetres Paribus for demand. And as I said, Cetres Paribus is the change in any other factor than the price. If we go back to our previous example where we were talking about law of demand, when the price is falling from £8 to £5, the quantity demanded has increased from this point to that point, from 20 to 25 units. Or in other way, on the other way around, if we have a look, the price goes up, let's say from £5 to £8. If the price goes up from £5 to £8, then quantity demanded will actually decrease from 25 units to 20 units. So when the price changes, we are moving up and down on the demand curve. However, when there is a change in Cetres Paribus are all other factors like income, like fashion, increase or decrease in population. All that causes the shift in the demand curve from right to left. So if I have a table over here with factors, if there is an increase in income, will people demand more of the goods or less of the goods? Everything else is constant. So if you've got more money, will you consume more or less?
Consume more.
You consume more. So on this diagram, what happens to the demand curve? It will move to the right from D1 to D2. Why? from QE to quantity 1, you will consume more, so it shifts to the right. If a good is in fashion,
You're more likely to buy it.
you're more likely to buy it. So the demand curve will again shift to the right. If a population has gone up, increase in population, what will happen to the, let's say, quantity demanded of milk?
You would need more.
You'll need more. So demand curve shifts to the right. You've got margarine and you've got butter. If the price of butter goes up, what will happen to the demand of margarine?
It would go up.
It'll go up to the right. So if the price of a substitute, where we were talking about margarine and butter, and we said if the price of butter went up, then people fall back onto margarine and the demand shifts to the right. So all these are factors, as we can see: income, fashion, population, substitute. All these are different to the price, and they cause a shift in the demand curve. Decrease in price of complementary good. Do you understand what complementary good is?
Like a hot dog and bun.
Like a hot dog and pap, yes, bun, or tennis racket and tennis ball. So if the price of a complementary good falls down, the demand for that complementary good will go up.
It depends. Because like let's say with the racket and tennis ball,
Yes,
if you don't really play tennis, why would you want some tennis balls?
absolutely, but that is another condition, and what we are saying is everything else is constant. So we're not reasoning, and you're absolutely right, your case building over here. So we are talking about what other attributes or other things are constant. We're just talking about one factor. So if the price of solely over here, the price of, let's say, complementary good, which is tennis balls, went down, or let's say tennis rackets, then obviously there'll be more people who'll be pushing for playing tennis. So it should go up. But then you're absolutely right. Maybe in that country no one plays tennis.
Yeah. Like maybe
So-
no one enjoys it.
But theoretically, we would say it shifts to the right. Then we are looking at if there is a decrease in income, would you consume more or less?
You would consume less.
And that would mean that the demand curve shifts to the left, as we can show that with the red arrow. If a good is not in the fashion, even if the price is falling, or let's say price is constant but it goes out of fashion, what will happen to demand curve? Will it shift to the right or to the left?
Left.
To the left. Decrease in population?
Left.
To the left. Decrease in price of substitute product?
To the left.
To the left as well. An increase in price of complementary product?
Yeah, that wouldn't work out. It'll go to the left as well.
It'll go to the left as well. The only thing you've got to remember is I've kept the price constant over here. But if I had a supply curve, then once these changes were being enacted, if I had a supply curve, let's say this is a supply curve, for that blue one, what I could have said is the price, when it shifts to the right, the price should increase because of demand. So what will happen is over here, I'm talking about price should increase, or if the demand is falling, then the price should fall. But in this video, to keep it simple, we've not discussed about it. Keep watching our videos and we will conclude our video 1 over here. If you've enjoyed this video, please do click the like button. Thank you.